What's good, y'all? It's your boy Zoetic, and we back with another episode of my collection.
Records, I ain't talking about my collection.
Okay, so before we get into the episode, what I want to express first is I want to say that In Plain Sight, my second R&B album, is available everywhere now. You guys know everything I've been doing for this past year has been leading up to this moment, and I want to thank everybody for their support. If you haven't checked it out yet, please check it out. You can scroll through the channel right here and find the video, or it's also available on every streaming platform that you can name. So getting into the episode of my collection today, everything is going to be based on my influences on the album. So let's go ahead and get on into it. The first thing I got right here is a CD from one of my biggest inspirations, this Sade with Diamond Life. I mean, what can I say about Sade that hasn't been said already? I mean, she's just such a legend, innovative. Well, the whole band, you have to include the band in it because her sound and just the entire sound of the band is really, it kind of ushered in a whole new genre and a whole new way of R&B, and just so influential. I mean, this is music, again, that I don't know life without. When you first hear it as a little kid, you like it, there's things about it that you're drawn to, but as you get older and as you start, becoming an adult and learning more things about life, you really start putting more context to the music, and it starts just making a little bit more sense. And I could definitely say that Sade is a huge part of that. Somebody that I definitely experienced that with, growing up as a little kid. I'm hearing this music all the time, but as an adult, I'm growing up, this stuff is just, it means something different to me as an adult, and she's one of my main inspirations. The track from my album In Plain Sight, Too Much Too Late, featuring Tony Toe Tags, it was directly inspired by Sade. The beat, when I heard the beat, it just automatically gave me those vibes, and so when I wrote the track, that was definitely what I was going for. So Sade, Diamond Life, 5 Mic classic, undisputed type of shit. So coming off of the heels of the Sade Diamond Life CD, I wanted to get into this DVD here I have of Sade Live. Now it's a collection, I believe, of just like random performances from world tours. They were touring pretty hard in the 80s and 90s, and this has got 18 tracks on it. Picked this up at the local record store. Special features like a biography, and you can kind of see all the discography and stuff, but it's just really awesome to see them live, and just exactly the type of different vibes and perspectives that you could put on songs that are already out. I know a lot of artists like to use their live performances to kind of put a new spin and put a new twist on these songs that they're performing, because these songs, they're probably already over these songs. These songs have been created for so long. They've been going over and recording these songs over and over again. When it comes to performing the songs, I think a lot of artists try to just put a different flip on it, put a different spin on it, just to give them a little bit more, variety, because they've been playing this music every single night. And so I really, really love this right here. It's a collection of performances. This came out here in '94, so all the performances are from before that, and that was really when the band was in their prime. They're just releasing incredible albums and touring the entire world. So like I said, Sade, just such a huge inspiration to me musically and as an artist, and just aesthetics, and just the way that she carries herself, and the way that the band went on to do Sweetback, put out their own album with other vocalists on there. So man, I mean, really not much more I could say about Sade the band, man. Just fucking incredible. Okay, so next up, I want to dig into a book right here. This is one of the many books that I have here in my collection that are based on Prince. This one is called Dig If You Will, The Picture by Ben Greenman, with a foreword from Questlove. Now the topic of this book is I really love it, because this gets a lot deeper into the ideologies and the stories and just the narratives that Prince put in his music. He packed a lot of just ideas and things, like ways of life. I mean, look, at the end of the day, when it comes to Prince, there's a certain levels of fans, right? I mean, you have your regular casual, Purple Rain fans, and then you have fans who literally are like collegiate academic. There's literally academic courses based on the ideologies of Prince's music. And there's people out there who run these courses, who put these things together. So the level of Prince fandomship is just really, really nuanced. And when it comes to this book, it really just brings up a lot of especially the contradictories that Prince was presenting in a lot of his music, because he would do things a lot where he would present an idea in a song, and just in life he just does something completely opposite. And that's just kind of what type of person he was, what type of artist he was. And this book gave me a really different perspective on his music, because like I said, it really gets into a lot of the Prince talks a lot about God. He talks a lot about just like, when you listen to songs where he's writing stories, they come from just a different place. They seem like almost like a fantasy land almost. And I just really love the way that Ben Greenman here really just took apart a lot of the contradictories and just the ideologies that Prince presents in his music. I really think that this is an awesome book to, if you like Prince a little bit, but you don't all the way get exactly everything that he's doing in his music and in his songs, I think this is definitely a book that you would want to check out, because it really just dissects it. It's kind of like the Jay-Z Decoded book that I went over a couple episodes back. You really just get a deeper understanding for what the music is really trying to explain. All right, and last up, what I want to get to here is a couple of records that I have. So first and foremost, we're going to pull this one here. And this right here is Stevie Wonder, The Secret Life of Plants. Now, the reason I want to talk about this today is because Stevie, again, Sade, Prince, these are artists whose legacies are solidified. They are all-time greats. And these are the type of people who I really draw inspiration from, who I'm really influenced by. And this particular album here from Stevie, I really love because he really stepped out of his box for this one. This is a really underrated album in his catalog. I feel like a lot of people kind of like trash this album, but I really love it because it's just weird. Whenever Stevie wants to get weird, and whenever I'm in a mood to hear weird experimental Stevie, this is where I go, because you just got so many different electronic like synth sounds. I think this was originally this is a soundtrack to a documentary, right? Soundtrack to the motion picture The Secret Life of Plants. Okay, so I've never seen this movie before, but if I were to just describe the sounds as it pertains to the title, The Secret Life of Plants, I would maybe suggest that this is what Stevie was hearing when he thought of an idea of what plants, right? Like plant life, right? I know I've seen a couple of videos where, guys who design synths and shit, they do this weird thing where they rig up like a vegetable or like a fruit or some shit, and they'll connect like these weird connectors to it, and they somehow get sound out of it, and they like make a synthesizer out of it. That's kind of what I feel like Stevie was going for here. Like, this is the sound that plants would make if they could make sounds. Does that make sense? I really love this one right here. Like I said, I think it's mostly instrumental stuff here, so whenever you kind of just want to vibe out, kick back, relax, and kind of hear some weird shit, this is definitely what I go to. Secret Life of Plants, Send One Your Love, my favorite record on here. That's just beautiful stuff right here, man. Underrated Stevie album. Underrated. Last but not least, I have probably the biggest inspiration to the In Plain Sight album. This is Janet Jackson with Control. Now, anybody who knows me knows just how hard I go for Janet and just how huge of a fan I am of hers. I think she really came in and she just innovated R&B and pop music and what it is to be a pop star, specifically a black woman pop star. I really believe that she just came in and just fucked the whole game up. And of course, with the help of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they just gave her such a new sound, a new style that would later on be dubbed as New Jack Swing. But this album in particular was really inspirational for me for making my album. Really just based on the way that this album is structured, the sequencing, how short it is. I think it's only 9 records. 9 records on this album. My album is 8. So that's really what I was going for. I was going for like a mid 80s funk, soul, kind of electronic vibes, and that's really what this album is. So I guess what you could say, In Plain Sight is kind of like my version of Control. You know, minus a lot of the other things. You know, whenever I'm influenced by an artist and something, I try not to copy it exactly. You know, I just want to take what they did and find how I can apply that to what I'm doing. So when it comes to Janet, you know, taking control of her career, taking control of her life, and just establishing what her legacy is going to be, I think that's what this album is really important for, and that's something that I'm trying to do within Plain Sight. So you know, all-time classic stuff here that I'm giving you guys on this episode of my collection, as I'm doing with a lot of episodes in my collection. You guys already know at this point, I'm just so inspired by greatness. I pull from it, I strive to be it, and it's just everything that I'm hoping that I can be. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for us this week, man. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and appreciating everything that I got going on, supporting everything that's going on. I really appreciate all that stuff, man. So thank you guys so much. Tune in next time to see what we got. You guys have a good one. Peace and blessings.